Hari Om. A very warm welcome to each one of you for this orientation program by Swami Chinmayanandaji on the Koti Japa Yagna 2023-24. I call upon Manjuma to do the invocation prayers. Manjuma.
Om. Om. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sah viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Yasya Smarana Matrena Bhakta Shishyascha Sevakaha Preranam Prapnuvantiha Chinmayam Tam Vayam Numaha Chinmayam Tam Vayam Numaha.
Hari Om. It's so encouraging to see so many participants who have responded for this Koti Jnana Yagna. Happy to announce that more than 375 sadhaks have registered for this program. And 375 sadhaks, not only through many parts of Mumbai, it's all across India, all around the world, from Singapore to Nairobi to the US. So many sadhaks have joined this wonderful, wonderful yagna, which is going to be a phenomenal event for the Chinmaya Mission this year. I now call upon Amritaji to have a few words of introduction about Swami Chinmayanandaji, and then we hand over to Swamiji for giving us an orientation about this Koti Jnana Yagna. Over to you, Amritaji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swamiji, and to one and all present here. Swamiji will be addressing today's session. We all know Swamiji doesn't need an introduction, but I consider it my good fortune to introduce him. Whether instilling divinity in the Shishus or inspiring bhakti in the Balvihar kids, whether playwriting the future of the nation with youth or guiding the mature minds into the path of no return, Swami Chinmayanandaji leaves no stone unturned in making sure the knowledge of Vedanta nourishes the life of everyone around. He is one of the most dynamic leaders of Chinmaya Mission. An Acharya of Chinmaya Mission South Mumbai, he completed the Vedanta course from Powai from 1998 to 2000. He expounds the philosophy of Advaita Vedanta through talks on the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and other texts of Vedanta and Bhakti through camps, meditation retreats, interactive sessions, and discourses for youth and adults. Swamiji has conducted the one-year residential youth empowerment program, which is a value-based leadership program to create nation builders of tomorrow for over a decade now. The mantra is learn, serve, grow. 500 plus youth have been trained by him. Through the above endeavors, thousands of youth have been inspired to lead a meaningful and successful life. He is also the visionary behind Chinmaya Pradeep, the world's first outdoor Vedantic park dedicated to the vision, life, and work of Poojya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji, located at the iconic Sandipani Sadhanalaya, Powai. He is as comfortable on a trek with the youth as he is in a boardroom with icons of Indian business. Several corporates like Pyramids, Reliance, Mahindra and Mahindra, Tata Motors, Toyota, etc. have been addressed by him. He holds weekly discussion groups on the Bhagavad Gita for some of the top industrialists of India. He is also a playwright who has written and directed 3 theatrical performances titled Adrishya, the Quest for the Unseen, based on Saraswati civilization, and another one titled Just Like That, based on the Bhagavad Gita, and the third one, Dharmayodha Vidyaranya, depicting the life of Swami Vidyaranyaji. Swamiji, with his inexhaustible desire to share knowledge and intelligent use of the social media, is never too far from the seeker on his handle Chinmaya Shivam. With a channel on YouTube, a Facebook page, a Twitter handle, and an active blog, or even a podcast, Swamiji has an expansive reach across all ages, be it study classes for adults, excursion with young adults, or camps with children. His simplicity, foresight, peaceful nature, and a balanced approach endear him to everyone. He owes everything to the feet of his Guru. Over to you, Swamiji.
Hari Om. Thank you, Amrita. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Shri Tapovana Paramagurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om. Salutations to one and all. Welcome to the Chinmaya Koti Nama Japa Yagna. Not a Jnana Yagna. Chinmaya Koti Nama Japa Yagna. So, Koti means 1 crore. Nama Japa we are going to do. Whose Nama Japa? Chinmaya Nama Japa. Our Poojya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanandaji's name. So the mantra is Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. And we are calling this as Japa Yagna because in the Gita Bhagavan says Yagnyanam Japa Yagnyosmi. Of all the yagnas, I am Japa Yagna. So different yagnas he has mentioned in the 4th chapter also. 12 different types of yagnas. But in that he doesn't mention specifically the name Japa Yagna. In the 10th chapter he says Yagnyanam Japa Yagnyosmi. Because Japa is something that does not involve any himsa. Some of the yagnas will involve himsa because when we light fire, we offer ahutis, various things that are collected, offered, things get burnt, living beings get affected. So in traditional way it is said that many yagnas, they will involve some unconscious form of himsa. Japa Yagna doesn't involve any himsa, one. Japa Yagna does not need elaborate preparation. Bhavana is more important. Japa Yagna can be done anywhere by a person, even if one is traveling, even if one is busy. There is no excuse that one can give that and I didn't have time. Otherwise, for other things, one needs material, place, cleanliness, many things are required, then only it can happen. So there are many reasons beautifully why Bhagavan says Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi. The word Japa means Jakaro Janma Vichhedaha Pakaro Papanashakaha Tasmat Japa iti Proktaha Janma Papa Vinashakaha. The alphabet J is Janma Vichheda, that which will destroy this cycle of birth and death. And Pa is Papanashaka, that which will destroy lots of papas. So Japa is that which is a very, very powerful sadhana. It is the simplest sadhana, but most powerful. And as the word itself says, when we chant the mantra, lot of agitations of the mind quieten down, mind becomes focused, single pointed. And when we do it with bhav, then all the more the mind engages in it. And it also destroys lot of baggage of vasanas. Nama Japa is prescribed for Prayaschitta also. Nama Japa is prescribed for destruction of sins also, papa karmas also. Nama Japa is prescribed for developing bhakti also. Nama Japa is prescribed even to gain purity of mind. And finally, Nama Japa can help us to unite with Bhagavan himself. In Kali Yuga especially, there are different sadhanas which are there, anybody can practice. But in Kali Yuga specifically, it is Nam. Kali Yuga Kevala Nama Adhara. It is said in Satyug one can practice tapa. One can do austerity in form of contemplation. Subtlest activity is contemplation on the Nirgun Nirakar Supreme Brahman. Treta Yuga, one can do yajna. So as the mind becomes more grosser, then one needs more tangible supports. So then yajna is done. Then Dwapar Yuga, one does dan, punya. Kali Yuga, nam. Because Kali Yuga people don't even believe in dan. How much conjuice one becomes sometimes, then just do the nam japa at least. Mirabai said so beautifully, Payo ji maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. Kharch na khoote, chor na loote, din din badhat savayo. The name of Bhagavan is like that. How much ever we expend, it will not get less. It will only increase in wealth. So we should have, when I was on the Narmada Parikrama, near Omkareshwar, there is one place which is called Japa Bank. And there is a Swamiji who runs it. I forget the name. But if you go near Omkareshwar, you will find very close to Omkareshwar, in that area, in Omkareshwar itself, it is there. And people write Japa and they go and deposit. And there is a bank. There they deposit the Nam Japa books and all that, and they have some system. So Japa is like that, where one individually, one creates an account as though with Bhagavan and keeps on depositing. And Japa only gives us the punya also to withdraw, and with that punya we may have good health or wealth or satsang or whatever we see. So Mahima of Japa is quite a lot. And this year we are going to do, because it is 108th year of Poojya Gurudev's Jayanti. So we want to do collectively 1 lakh malas. And one mala is defined as 108 beads. So collectively, if we all get together and do from now up to next year, May 8th, every day 1 mala, then we want to reach 1 lakh malas like that. So it will become that way minimum 1 koti, 1 crore. It will be more than that obviously, but in general as a 1 crore. So Chinmaya Koti Nama Japa Yagna. Why are we doing this? To express our gratitude to Gurudev, to strengthen our bhakti towards Gurudev, to remember who Gurudev was, what was his vision, how he lived, what he taught us, are we living that? So Gurudev may not be in the form, but Gurudev always said the Guru is never the form. And if somebody thinks that Guru is the form, then they will be sad when the form is gone, saying Guru gone. Guru never goes anywhere. Guru is right here and now and in our own heart. Yes, we miss the form, there is no doubt. But when we do japa, we remember Gurudev. And it is not to be done just mechanically. It is to build a bond with Gurudev. The mantra says, Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Salutations to my Sadguru, who is Swami Chinmayananda. That is the meaning of the mantra. So Gurudev is our Guru, and this is a mantra which will help us to tune more and more with Gurudev, invoke more and more of his grace, his blessings, and make ourselves more and more available to serve his vision. It is very important to do both. Gurudev always used to say that when a master is there, then the organization flourishes. But when the master is not there, many times the organizations, they just collapse and they close down because there is nobody to take forward that vision properly as the master wanted. Gurudev created an army of so many sadhus as well as grahasthas, and his vision is expanding. And as the vision expands, work expands, more and more people also are required to reach out. And he gave us the motto, maximum happiness to maximum people for maximum time. So along with Nam, we also have to do Kam. Okay. Hanumanji taught this to Vibhishanji. Vibhishanji was in Lanka taking the name of Bhagwan, and with that he protected himself, living in that absolute materialistic life, surrounded by absolutely people who are materialistic, adharmic, sensuous. He was able to maintain his sadhana just by Namasmaran in Lanka. But he did not have the strength to tell Ravan that what you are doing is wrong. When Hanumanji met him, Hanumanji told him that you are taking the name of Bhagwan. Bhagwan ka naam आप ले रहे हैं, लेकिन भगवान का काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. Do the seva of Bhagwan. Do the work of Bhagwan. Fight against adharma and seek refuge of Bhagwan. Leave this Ravan if he does not mend his ways and take refuge of Bhagwan. And Vibhishanji had doubt, will Bhagwan accept me? Hanumanji assures him that of course Bhagwan will accept you. So he teaches him that very important. So we must do the Nam and do the Kam. That Bhagwan Krishna also told us in the Gita, which Gurudev taught us his 42 years of his life, he taught Gita to us. What did he tell us in the Gita? Bhagwan said in 8th chapter, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. Right? 8th chapter he said, Mam anusmara yudhyacha. You remember me and fight. Meaning, Arjun, you remember me and do your duty. We generally forget Bhagwan. We do our karma as our individual, as an ego and egocentric identity. Then that karma binds us. But if we remember every day before we start the work, we remember this is divine work, Bhagwan put me here, this is the role I have to play. I dedicate this to Gurudev, I dedicate this to Bhagwan. Nam anusmara yudhyacha. So Nam and Kam. Nam also is Gurudev's Nam, Kam also is Gurudev's Kam. And this year we have so much of projects. Every center will have. And next 3 years we have to gear up ourselves. So this Nama Japa is very powerful to generate in us that energy, that Sankalpa, that selflessness, that Niswartha Bhav, Nishkam Bhav, to give our best to serve the vision of Gurudev. This year is 108th year of Poojya Gurudev's Jayanti. 2025 will be the 50th year of Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. And not even much planning has started. Think about it. Gurudev had so much of passion for the youth, and he said youth alone can. And it is such a momentous occasion. I'm not sure whether many centers have even started thinking of the 50th year. In our All India Chick conference, we do discuss few things, but it has to become a movement where people will come together and say that, because if we don't plan this year and next year, how will we execute something fabulous in the 50th year, which is 2025? And 2026 is 75 years of Chinmaya movement. So 3 years, very, very powerful 3 years. And it is only Gurudev's grace that can help us to give a befitting tribute to Gurudev and his life and his work. What he did 42 years for us, we have to rise up, do what best we can. His vision is very vast. Even some little part of that we take and we can manifest, that will be great. Recently we did the play on Swami Vidyaranyaji. He wanted that play to happen in 80s and he had given that vision to the chicks in Andhra Pradesh. 33 years later, that is manifesting now. So we have to do both. So as you do japa, also find out wherever possible, however you can serve. Each one can serve in their own capacities, no compulsion to anybody, it's a voluntary seva. But keep that in mind. The mission will require, everywhere the mission will require the help of the sevaks, sevikas, to start new classes, to reach out, to do the activities, to increase, participation in whatever it is Gita chanting, Balvihars, camps, yajnas, talks, projects, schools, social service, so many things. Each center's dynamics are different. So this is our bhavana. Now, Gurudev himself is very interesting, is how Gurudev's life, if you see, there is few things which are continuously there in his life. Once he became a sadhu or sannyasi and then he started the missionary work, then Jnana Yajna is constant. Every day he is talking. Letter writing, every day he used to do. But there is something that is there with him from his childhood, which continued throughout his life. And that is japa. Even as a child, he used to do japa of Om Namah Shivaya. When his sister Padmini used to feel scared, he used to tell her, you take this mala, do the japa, and put this mala below your pillow and sleep, thinking that you are in the lap of Bhagavan Shiva and you will not get, these negative dreams. She used to get negative dreams and she used to get up with a start and all that. So he used to tell, as a child, he used to tell her that. And all of us know that 2 hours long pujas used to happen in his house in the evenings, and then he developed a bond with Chandra Kaladhara, Bhagavan Shiva. So he used to say that I used to play hide and seek with Lord Shiva. So he would watch the form of Bhagavan Shiva very intensely, and then he will close his eyes and he will visualize the form in the mind. And the moment that form goes away, again he will open the eyes, again he will see. This he kept doing. Then he went to study in the Lucknow University. He went through a phase of agnosticism. He was not sure whether God existed or not. He even rejected God at some point. But he did not leave his japa. For a short while he left it, but again he picked it up. When he went to Swami Shivanandaji to expose the sadhus, he used to call them as, he said he went to expose the bluff of the sadhus. He used to call them as social parasites and leeches. And there he went and he stayed and he saw the life of Swami Shivanandaji. He had satsang, he transformed. He picked up Om Namah Shivaya again. And he used to do japa. And he used to chant many times in that room there in Divine Life Society. There is that room where Akhanda Nama Sankirtan happens of Mahamantra, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So he used to do the japa there. Then he wanted to take sannyas. So he went, Shivanandaji said, you go on a Chardham Yatra and see if this is a sustained feeling or this is a passing phase. And he went on foot. Chardham Yatra he did, met many Mahatmas. He met Tapon Maharaj also there. First time he met Tapon Maharaj there. And Tapon Maharaj told him that constantly maintain Brahma Vichar. The first meeting of Tapon Maharaj and Gurudev, Tapon Maharaj gave him Brahma Gyan straight. He said, you maintain Brahma Vichar continuously. Then Gurudev went to all the 4 dhams. Finally, he landed in Badrinath. There in Badrinath, he did from June 20th, 1948 to 14th August, 1948, 56 days, Puras Charan of Om Namah Shivaya. So 6 lakh japas he did. It is written in his, Trek to Uttarakhand, in that he has mentioned all this. In his own handwriting, it's there. 6 lakh japa of Om Namah Shivaya he did in 56 days, 100 malas per day. At the end of it, he decided, yes, I want to take sannyas. So japa was instrumental in his life throughout. And then after he took sannyas also, he continued to do japa when he was under Tapon Maharaj. He was studying there. And so many of you must have seen Gurudev throughout his life. There's a mala, small mala he used to have sometimes, and then he would keep doing japa, and he would encourage people to do. So our master himself is the role model of Japa Yagna. And as disciples, we can definitely do. And we will do Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. So Gurudev used to say this, beautiful quote of Gurudev is, Japa is a training by which the ever-dancing race of the mind are compelled to behave in a certain order and rhythm. So we train the mind. He used to say Japa is like, the mind trained in Japa is like pre-cooked food. It is ready for consumption. So since Gurudev had done so much of Japa, when he met Tapon Maharaj, his mind was tuned, trained. So he could grasp Brahma Vidya also very easily. So this has a lot of significance. As Gurudev would say, Japa will help us for QQD. What is QQD? Quality, quantity, direction. Quality of the mind, it will make it positive, it will improve when we connect to the Supreme Lord. Quantity of thoughts, it will reduce, and it will make the mind single-pointed. And direction of the thoughts, it will change from extrovertedness to introvertedness. All the three Japa will do is simultaneously, just by chanting the mantra, we improve the quality when we think of Gurudev. We reduce the quantity because no other thought except Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. And we change the direction because we are not thinking anything outside. We are only remembering Gurudev and the name. So Japa works in this way. Generally, one has to choose, in this case is very easy right now. Otherwise, in general, one has to choose from many forms, choose one form of Bhagavan, build a relationship with Bhagavan, and invoke that form in the mind, and then choose one particular name of Bhagavan, which is a mantra, and then start doing the japa. Here, the form is already available to us. It is Gurudev's form. Now you choose whichever one form you want to choose. You may like Gurudev sitting in meditation, or you may like Gurudev just looking at you, or just smiling, or Gurudev with Tapon Maharaj behind him, Gurudev talking, whatever you feel like. You choose the form of Gurudev, whichever you like. The picture of Gurudev must be there in front of us when we do japa. Initially, the photograph or a picture is important so that if the mind wanders, again we bring it back, see the form, again close. As one becomes adept, then picture may not be required. One closes the eyes and the form will just appear. So how are we going to do this japa? So first and foremost, as I said, fix the form of Gurudev. Ideal is if you have a good picture, at least A4 size or even a little bigger if you want, so that one sees it very clearly. If you have something smaller, handy, you want to travel, you are carrying it along, that is up to you. But one form, choose one form. Why we say one form? So that the mind gets tuned to it very easily and it does not take time. Otherwise, different forms, you may say Monday I will choose this form, Tuesday I will use this form, Wednesday I will use this form. That much more time the mind will take. So choose one form. Gurudev used to tell us that if you are sitting on the ground, you should place the form in such a way that the feet, if the form is full, the feet are at your eye level, and then the picture is kept. If you are sitting on a chair, you keep it appropriately where you can see the form properly. So one is have a form. Please choose a mala to keep a count. 108 beads ka mala if you want to choose. Or if you do 27 beads, then you have to change for 3 times after every 27 is over. This is a 54 bead mala, so this has to be changed once. Change meaning once we finish, we come to this. So how do we do the japa? We hold the mala like this. On the ring finger, touch the thumb to the index ring finger. So this will ensure mala doesn't fall. This finger is out, this finger is out. These two fingers we will not use for japa. These three only, two middle fingers and thumb is what we use for japa. So with the middle finger we start the japa. So always when we start the japa, we touch this meru. The meru is the symbol of Bhagavan. So sometimes when the picture etc. is not there, then what does one do? One anyway has the bhav that this is Bhagavan. So one always bows down. Symbolically, one surrenders to Bhagavan. Then one starts the japa. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. After you say Namaha, rotate the bead. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Like that you keep rotating and you will come to the last bead. When we come to the last bead, then what should be done? Push the thumb below, rotate the mala. Now that last bead becomes the first bead. So we never cross the meru. Symbolically, meru is Bhagavan, nothing is greater than Bhagavan, so we never cross that. So the last bead again becomes the first bead and again you start. So if you do 54 ka mala, you have to change once. If you do 27 ka mala, you have to change thrice. Because we have to change, it also becomes easy for us to ensure that the mind has not wandered away. So smaller malas, definitely they help for that. So that's how one does the mala. How does one hold? Ideal position is one holds like this. The hand is resting around this part of the body. So one is not sitting like this, where the hand has to strain, struggle. Nor one keeps the mala down below the waist. Mala generally never goes below the waist. So the best position is hand is like this and one holds. If you have a Gomukhi, you can put the mala inside that Gomukhi so that the mala will never fall down. It will not touch the ground. It will not fall on your lap or in your lap. So one does the japa like this. That. Sometimes if you feel this is difficult, another way to do it is like this. Many times Gurudev used to do like this. On the middle finger, the mala is kept. And this finger is the index finger symbolizing ego. So this has to be kept out in japa. Then you with the thumb you turn, and this is turned like this. These three fingers are turned inside so that mala will not fall. Even if you are sleepy, drowsy, mala will not fall. And then you turn. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. So both ways one can do. Please definitely use the mala. Don't say I have an intuitive grasp of the count. Do mala. We need number. Quantity is important. Minimum 108 you do. After that you have intuitive grasp for how much ever you want to do, because mala can become an impediment. Actually, after a certain point, mala is an impediment. One doesn't need a mala because one is trying to rise above body consciousness and one is trying to go beyond the body. So 108 ke liye definitely use the mala, because minimum one mala count one should finish. So keep the picture, have a mala, and please do not use the same mala for different mantras. No, we should never do that. Every mala, only one mantra. Mala absorbs the vibration. Asan in which you sit will absorb the vibration. One should not share all that. So don't have one mala for the whole family. No. One mala for one person and one mantra only on one mala. And wash the mala in basic warm water once in 2-3 days. Keep the mala clean. And don't think that if I wash the mala, vibration will go away and all that. Don't think all that. Vibration is more subtler, nothing will go away. But keep the mala clean. And don't wear the mala. The wearing mala, if is there, then you have to ensure that every day it is cleaned. Nothing wrong if you wear it and on that you do japa, but then you have to clean it every day. So keep the form, keep the mala in a proper pouch. Then sit on an asana. If you are sitting cross-legged, take a pillow, take an asana, put a pillow on it so that your hips are above your knees. So you sit little like this, so then there's no back pain. Some people may not need that if they have a strong core and back, but some people may need, if they don't have a strong core, then one should have the pillow. If you are sitting on a chair, definitely put asana below your feet. Mala, japa will generate energy in the body. That energy can be conserved. It will be helpful for our evolution, physically, emotionally, spiritually also. So keep an asana. Keep that asana also clean. Once in 3-4 days, wash that asana. So asana is there. You are seated on it. There's a form in front of you. Mala is there. If it is possible, always sit facing the east or the north. These are two important directions, facing the east, facing the north. Now, how do we start? Start with Sahana Bhavatu. If you like, you can chant Guru Stotram fully, or just chant Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, whatever you feel like, to invoke the bhav, because this is Guru Upasana we are doing. Light the lamp in front of Gurudev before you start. So picture is there, lamp is there, light a lamp, sit in front of Gurudev, invoke Gurudev in your mind, chant Guru Stotram, or anything else if you like, which reminds you of Gurudev. There are many other things also which are there. Chinmaya Mahima Stotram is there. Chinmaya Ashtakam is there. Many different compositions are there. Kritagnata is there. Whichever you like. Basic feeling is one should have bhav towards Gurudev. So when we do that, then take at least 5 to 10 deep breaths. Inhalation, exhalation. Deep inhalation, exhalation. Because that deep breathing will relax the body also, and it will quieten the mind also. Keep the posture erect, of course. Head, neck, spine always straight. And do some deep breathing. And then here, in the space between the two eyebrows or in your heart, that form that you are seeing. So if you want to stare at the form properly after you chant Guru Stotram, from the head to the toes or whatever is your form that you have chosen. Stare at it, notice every detail of it carefully, pay attention, register it mentally. That is tratak in some ways. Tratak means to stare. In Yoga Shastra, they do tratak with the tip of the flame, but here we are doing tratak with the form of Bhagwan, form of Gurudev here. So look at the form, stare at it, and then close the eyes, invoke the form in your mind. Here or here. And then start the japa. Do your quantity 108 minimum. If you are doing more, you can do more. In the beginning, let the japa be loud, then make it soft, then make it mental. Uccha, Manda, Chittaja. That is what our scriptures they say. In the Upadeshar, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says that Uccha Mandataha Chittajam. Those are 3 things he says in that. Kaya Vangmana Karyam Uttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat Jagat Ishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Brud Deva Pujanam Uttamastavad Ucchamandataha Chittajam Japa Dhyanam Uttamam. So that is the progression. If you are already tuned with that mantra and you are able to keep the mind steady, if some of you may have been doing the japa of that mantra for a long time, then you start mentally, no problem. But otherwise the mind takes some time to get tuned to that mantra. And also gradually we withdraw from outside to inside. then the obstacles like sleep, drowsiness, wandering of the mind, those can be avoided. So chant loud, chant soft, then chant mental. Now you can divide if you want. You are doing 4 malas of 27 each. So you say 27 times I will do loud, then 27 times I will do soft, and then 54 times I will do mental. That is up to you. You can decide how you want to do. With every name, try to remember the form and do it with bhavana. One of the things that helps to do to invoke bhavana is you talk to Gurudev before you start the japa. When you visualize the form, you speak to Gurudev, because Gurudev is real. He is not imagination of our mind, that is a form that we are imagining. He is consciousness. He is inside, outside, everywhere. He is Chinmaya. He is consciousness alone, and that is alone is real actually. So talk to Gurudev, express whatever you want to express, ask, seek, pray, anything. And then you start the japa. Then bhavana will be engaged. And then start the japa. When you complete, for a few moments, sit quietly. Don't think anything else. If the mind has become quiet, just observe that quietude, silence. If it has not become quiet, don't worry. Just observe what it is doing. Don't add, don't resist. Finally, offer some flowers at the feet of Gurudev mentally. Do a pradakshina of Gurudev. Come to prostrate in front of him. Repose him back in your heart. Then chant the Shanti mantra, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, up to Purnamada. Rub your palms, place them on the face, open your eyes. If you want to offer any flowers or anything you have, before the japa starts, you can offer, or after the japa also you can offer at the altar. So this is the process that one can follow. Whenever the mind wanders, if at all the mind wanders, bring it back to the mantra. If the mind is not able to focus more and one is feeling drowsy, or sleepy, or distracted, do the japa with open eyes, no problem at all. There's no need to struggle to keep the eyes closed, and some people have challenge with eyes closed. They feel scared. So do japa even with open eyes, there is no problem at all. But please do japa while sitting. Don't say that, Swamiji, I went for my morning walk. In my morning walk, I was doing Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha, Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha, Om Shri Chinmaya. Please don't do that. That you do extra japa. But this you sit and do properly, because the idea is to withdraw the mind, to build a bond, to exclusively focus on Gurudev. That sadhana is important. And one mala of 108, if you do this whole process, will not take more than 15 minutes. Max, it will take 15 minutes. Somebody who gave 42 years of his life, every moment for us, 15 minutes per day for that great master, we should be able to take out. So if it is possible, fix the time of the day. Quantity and time and place, if you fix, that is the best. Place, suppose we are not able to fix because we may be traveling, etc., then fix the time and quantity definitely. Those things will help the mind to build a discipline, to become quieter, faster, and to have certain consistency. Otherwise, one is very impulsive, not consistent. One day one does, another day one doesn't do. If you go by the tradition, you know what happens. Every day we are supposed to do Sandhya Vandan. Those who have taken Janevu, and earlier we all used to take Janevu. Everybody used to take Janevu. Today people have made it optional. In Sandhya Vandan, what happens? We are supposed to do the Gayatri Japa and then Ishtadevata Japa. So if you don't do today for some reason, then you have to do tomorrow, today's count, plus tomorrow's count, plus one more extra for Prayaschitta for missing that yesterday. 3. That is in tradition there. I'm not trying to scare you saying, Arey Baba, Swamiji, one only we are not able to do. Abhi aap 2, 3 bol doge to Ram Ram Satya hai. Hum nahi karne wale hain. Bye bye. No need to be scared. Idea is be consistent. Otherwise, the mind is very impulsive. One day it will do 1 mala, another day it will do 4 malas, then 6 days there will be a gap. Every day one mala. That niyam one should keep. If you are able to fix the time, you choose a time where you are not disturbed, and the possibility is where you will definitely be able to keep up that time. Then it will be done. And ideally is if you do it in the morning when the mind is fresh. That's a suggested time. Otherwise, you can do whenever you feel you are able to do. That is not a problem. While doing the japa, there are a few things that one can also focus on. Depends on each one's mental capacity and tuning. Simplest, as I said, you can focus on the form of Bhagwan and chant the name of Bhagwan. Second, you can focus on just the alphabets of the mantra also. So you can just write Om Nama, Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. The alphabets are forming. You can do that also. You can focus on the silence between the two chants. All this Gurudev is to say. You can focus only on the sound of the mantra, no need of a form. As the mind becomes subtler, the form disappears, only the sound of the mantra. So various things one can do, and definitely contemplate on the meaning if you want to. After the japa is over, contemplate that who is Chinmaya. Chinmaya is pure consciousness that pervades everything. Chinmayam vyapiyat sarvam. My true nature is that consciousness, because our Guru wanted us to recognize and realize that the best offering we can do to Gurudev is to wake up to the truth, to realize who I am. There is nothing else that can be a greater offering to Gurudev than that. He dedicated his whole life only for that. All the other projects, everything is a means to purify our mind, to prepare us to gain this Brahma Vidya and to experience oneness with the Supreme. So few seconds or minutes after japa is over, if you can, then contemplate on Gurudev's, contemplate on consciousness, Chinmay, Sachidananda Swarup Atma. So this much about the japa, the process, and what we can do. You can also dedicate the japa for somebody if you want to. In the sense that somebody is not well, then you say that Gurudev, today this japa is dedicated to the well-being of such and such person. Please help, please shower grace on him or her, whatever that is. So how to do that? So if you say that today's japa is dedicated for person A, Mr. Ram, let us say. So before you start the japa, you chant. You pray to Gurudev that this japa is dedicated to this person. At the end of the japa, again pray, this is for this person. 2 times you remember that person, dedicated to the well-being of that person. Ideally, we also can have dhyana shloka. So when we invoke the form of Gurudev, you can remember Chinmayam vyapiyat sarvam or samasta jana kalyane. So invoke Gurudev's form with the shloka, chant that loudly, and then start doing the japa once the form is very clear in the mind. So these are few aspects that you can do. Gurudev always said, very beautiful quote of his, we could do most things best by easing into them slowly. Do not be in a hurry. The best rule is hasten slowly. Be careful but steady in your pursuit. These are all Gurudev's words. And so this is where I stop. May all of us do this in samashti. Now, one important point I'm telling you, very important it is, when a chant is done, it has its own power, mantra and the japa and sadhana that we do. But when it is done in a group, samohik sadhana it is done, then the beauty of this sadhana is each sadhak gets the punya of the entire group's effort. How beautiful is that? Suppose you do from now, so from August 3rd to May 8th is 280 days, let us say. And you do 1 mala per day. You don't get the benefit and punya of only 280 malas. you get the benefit and punya of 1 lakh malas. Everybody will get that benefit of 1 lakh malas. Chinmaya Koti Nama Japa Punya will come to everybody. Each person's bank account, Punya account will be credited with this much. That's what our Shastra says. That's the Samohik Sadhana Phala. So we are in this together. And every day the mala count you will put on the WhatsApp group and they will update that we have reached this many malas, this much japa, all that it will happen. And so as a group, as a team, we have to achieve this. Don't think only for individual. Gurudev always wanted us to work together. So it is Japa Yagna. Yagna means what? Cooperative endeavor for a selfless cause. Everyone comes together, sinking their differences, working for the same cause. So we have to do. So if we feel that, some people's motivation is less, they are able to do, not able to do, and last minute we may have to do some more number of malas, all that will happen. But we have to achieve this together as a team. So this is where is a beautiful sadhana we are doing last year. So we did it, many centers have done in different ways earlier also. In centenary year also we had done 108 times, but not at such a huge scale. Last year, Chinmaya Prerna zone, they took up this sadhana and they did this as an experiment and it worked very well. And so this year we are launching it in a bigger way. Anybody more wants to join in, they are welcome. They can still register, they can keep joining, and we will keep chanting the name of Bhagwan. So we invoke Poojya Gurudev's grace and blessings that may he help us to remember him, build a bond with him, make it stronger, surrender to him, take his naam, do his calm. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha.
There is a question in the chat.
What is the question? By posting the numbers every day, will not my ego boost up thinking I am doing more? See, ego can boost up even if you don't post, okay? Which is why we are saying that offer it at the feet of Gurudev, offer some flowers, and you can do this one beautiful thing consciously so that the ego doesn't boost. You mentally say that, mentally feel that you have taken some water in your hand, you offer that at the feet of Gurudev and you say, Om Tat Sat Chinmaya Arpanam Astu. This sadhana is offered to Gurudev. Khatam. You can seek forgiveness also, saying, Bhagwan, please forgive me for any errors of omission and commission, and this sadhana is offered at your lotus feet. Then you put the number, nothing will happen. Because I already offered it at Bhagwan's feet, Gurudev's feet, over. See, somebody may not post anything and still may have ego. Somebody may post, may not have an ego. So it is up to us how we handle the attitude. And objective of posting is important. Now, what is our objective? Our objective is to reach a samashti sankalpa. So that everybody knows, okay, this much we have reached as a group. And we can motivate each other. If the objective is to say that in this group, I am the one who is doing maximum japa, so I am going to put every day, 8 malas I have done, 10 malas I have done. Nobody should be able to do more than me. That is not the objective. No? Objective is to collectively remember Gurudev, live in gratitude, live in surrender. So we should always remember that objective.
Hari Om Swamiji. I don't know how basic this question is, but many people do not have japamalas. So in that context, how do they continue to count? I mean, do they use?
They should go and buy one japamala, as simple as that. It's not a big
but there are
difficulty.
many people who don't want to, I have a couple of friends, they said, okay, हम कर लेंगे, पर हमारे पास नहीं है. तो how do they count? I mean,
अब देखिए, कुछ करना है तो ठीक से करना चाहिए ना. तो जाके जपमाला लो, पहली बात. Because as I told you, mala has its own impact. माला सिर्फ there is a पद्धति for everything. अब हमको जहाँ पे Unavoidable hai, then we compromise, we adjust, that's a different thing. Jahan pe avoidable hai, why should we compromise? तो करने के लिए थोड़ी कर रहे हैं, वो करना है तो अच्छे से करना है. So go and take the mala is my suggestion. Suppose for whatever reasons now that doesn't want to take a mala or whatever, then keep a count on the hand. Then what else will one do?
Thank
Or
you.
buy a counter if you want to buy. There's a counter which comes that they keep doing like this, like this.
Yes.
There's no other solution. No? Then you have to keep some weight of counting. Now in the hand, suddenly now one mind wanders and the hand doesn't move. What will happen there?
Yes.
Karamala is there. You can do Karamala. So from here it will start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is called Karamala. It
Okay.
goes like this.
Okay.
This is the Meru. This will not be touched.
Okay.
So again one starts from here. So 10 this hand, and one has to keep a count like this here. So once you finish this 10, then 1. Another 10, 2. Another 10, 3. Like this you count 10 into 10, 100. Then you have to do 8.
Okay.
Ab itna coordination, I have tried this. For me, though, it doesn't work. Because after some time, the mind starts doing mental chanting and this thing is not moving here. I have to coordinate. Na? This also has to move and this has to be at the correct place.
Okay.
Usse better hai, just do the mala and keep doing. Count. Simplest.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So, Swamiji, is there any rule that we must pray just for one person? We can pray for a couple people
You
or
can pray
alternative?
for the entire
Any
world.
number.
There is no problem.
There is
Bhagwan,
no rule, right?
no such. You can pray for anybody. As many people you want to pray, you want to remember them, you can remember and pray.
Thank you, Swamiji, for explaining the importance of japa and teaching us the right process of doing the japa. I urge all of you to continue to be consistent. That's what is the key here. Consistency is the key. Ensure that you are counting, you are doing your japas and also posting your daily count on the WhatsApp group that has been assigned to all of you. I just want to also briefly introduce you to the volunteers for each group so that if you have any queries, you can reach out to them and they would be able to address those queries to you. So we have the 3 groups for Satyam group. We have Raji Suresh, Sujata Murli, and Dimple Parekh. For the Shivam group, we have Amrita Sharma and Beena Nair. And for the Sundaram group, we have Jagatjit Patro, Swapna Ramachandran, Chaitanya DR, Priya Krishnan, and Divya Shrikant. As I said in the beginning, more than 375 sadhaks have already registered and have been distributed into these 3 groups, Satyam, Shivam, and Sundaram. And as Swamiji also mentioned, daily we will be also giving you an update of how many Japamalas counts have been reached, and with the help of all of you, we are sure that we will be reaching the target of 1 lakh Japamalas much before the target date, and we will achieve more than a lakh, more than a koti of this thing. Yeah. And one more request is, as Swamiji also said, the registration for this process is perpetual. It does not close. Please keep on encouraging your near and dear ones to register for this using the registration link. Please do not forward the WhatsApp link to anybody.
Yes.
Only see the registration link, let them get registered. We will assign them to the respective WhatsApp groups because we need to keep the loads also balanced between the 3 groups, right? So please encourage your near and dear ones to register and make sure that we all get benefited by each other's chanting also. Yeah. With that, if there are no other questions, I would like to hand over back to.
Now, there are some questions, and also my suggestion to you is that instead of forming 3 groups, you please form 3 communities, because groups will have limited number. After that, you can't add more people in the group. Then you have to create another group. So if you form 3 communities, think over it. Then it will become more easy because each community will have 2,000 people. So there is no problem. Group will have only 500, not more than 500, 512. Aap socho. There are
Yeah.
two people who had raised the hand. Yes, Anjali ji.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Om.
Swamiji, I wanted to ask which mala should we use? Rudraksh or Tulsi or even the crystal, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter for Gurudev's name, no specific thing. If you want to use Rudraksha, that is good. Otherwise, any mala is fine. It's just to keep account.
Okay, Swamiji. Thank you.
Seeing that, for ladies, it becomes a little bit difficult during the 3 days. So is it okay if they do the japa during that? Someone has asked me from the Sundaram group.
If they are up to it, they want to do the japa, they can. If they don't want to do, no problem. There is no compulsion anyways. And there is nothing harmful that is anyway going to happen if you don't do japa on those 3 days, or for whatever reason somebody is not able to do some japa, unavoidable reason, then that's all right, no problem at
So
all.
it can be done even during Sutak and all those things, right?
Yeah, it can be done.
Thank you so much.
Swamiji, one more question in chat. Any specific sankalpa is there to be taken?
No, we don't have a specific sankalpa. Each one can do for themselves, because then those things we want to keep it simpler. Otherwise, sabko bar bhejte raho, and then they need to figure out in Sanskrit, then chanting, and then they get intimidated with all that. So our sankalpa is only this much, that 1 lakh malas we will do collectively for our well-being, for everybody's well-being. Bas.
Hari Om Manjuji, for the closing prayers.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Swamiji, we have done as what you have said in the message. We have started adding people, as you have said.
Adding people where?
In groups, you sent the message, no, Swamiji.
In the 3 groups, na, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm fine.
As
Okay.
per your advice, we are doing it.
All right. Nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Yes.
Hari Om.